Speaking of plan, it is clear that Hamas had one. When the terrorists struck Israel in a shock attack this weekend, part of their plan was one city, Sderot. This is a city in southern Israel. It is one of the first and the worst hit. We went there today at the scene of where fierce fighting took place. As we speak, Israeli forces have regained control of the city. They're trying to sanitize it, but it still remains a war zone. There were rocket attacks from Gaza while we were there, and many areas are still out of bounds for people. Here's a report.
It's a lazy Saturday in Israel, the Jewish holiday of Sabbath. But down here in Sderot, things are about to take a terrible turn. Here it is on the map, just adjacent to northern Gaza. Distance about 10 kilometers. The edges of this city are just under 3,000 feet from Gaza. Sderot is among the frontline cities in Israel, and on Saturday it was a target. Hamas terrorists poured into the city. They killed civilians and took over government buildings. It's been 4 days since that attack. The first post team visited Sderot to see what remains of the city. We found bullet marks and gutted cars.
This is the shopping center of Sderot. You can hear military helicopters buzzing overhead. There is intermittent sound of bombs and rockets going off. And this is where one of the rockets fell. This is what remains of a car. Metal and glass splintered everywhere around this, including on this other vehicle that also bore the brunt of this attack from Hamas terrorists. This happened a couple of days back. This is a town of some 30,000 people, and it has seen more than 100 rocket attacks from Gaza, just a few kilometers away from Gaza.
You can see in the background their bodies. I went out, I saw loads of bodies of terrorists, civilians, cars shot up, sea of bodies inside Sderot. Along the road, other places, loads of bodies. It is sad, it is tragic.
As news of the attack spread, Israel responded. Their army was dispatched to the country's south, and they came here too, to Sderot. A fierce and grueling gunfight followed. Israel recaptured the city, but not without losing its own citizens.
We will exact a very heavy price from Hamas, who will pay for what they did, and this action will be remembered in Gaza for the next 50 years, and they will regret that they started this, and we are responsible for it.
At the center of the siege was this building, at least what remains of it, the police station of Sderot.
This was one of the first sites of the attack by Hamas terrorists. This happened on Saturday morning. They came in and they started indiscriminate fire. On the way here, we saw bullet marks at various places. There was a lot of firing. And then what you see behind me, what is being destroyed and razed to the ground, used to be the main police station of this town. And this was the site of an intense gun battle that lasted some 20 hours. It was a very, very long operation, and the Israeli forces indulged or had to fight a fierce gun battle. A tank was brought to the scene, and there were 10 Hamas terrorists who were cooped up inside, who were fighting from inside, and they've all been neutralized. And now this police station is being razed to the ground. This entire town looks deserted. Most of the people have left here. On the way here, we saw virtually nobody on the streets except for security officials, very heavily armed military officials and soldiers patrolling the streets. We also saw some rocket firing happening on the way here, and we were all told to duck for cover. So this remains a very, very tense scene, although Israeli forces say that they have taken complete control of the situation. They're still trying to sanitize this area.
The buildings can be mowed down and rebuilt, but the scars, they may take years to heal. And that's what our team learnt here in Sderot. Amid these checkpoints, charred vehicles and piled up bodies, there's no time to ponder through, because our return journey to Tel Aviv taught us a very important lesson. The next Sderot could be anywhere.
We were on our way to Tel Aviv, and as you can see, sirens sounding, and we got an alert on the radio and on our phones, warning of a rocket attack, and the sirens have gone off. They're ringing loud in Ashdod, in Tel Aviv and other places, and people have pulled over their cars. You can see a long line of vehicles along this road, and everyone in these cars has gotten off and they're all taking shelter. As you can see, it's a very tense situation. On the way to Tel Aviv, we've seen red alert in various places, including in Ashkelon and other places in southern Israel. So while the Israeli military says that the situation is completely, that they have taken control of the territory, it still remains a very, very sensitive zone.